Morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target Morning Brief, where we invest in fighter pilot precision on a daily basis. Welcome to Thursday, September 30th. It seems like it's Friday because it's the last day of the quarter, and a lot of things, of course, have to happen on the last day of the quarter as we close out quarter number 3. But it's actually not a Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. Only Thursday for us today. What we're going to talk about today is crypto investing. We haven't really talked directly about crypto in a while, but I do think as I'm putting my brief together for I have my first investment advisory board meeting on a Sunday night. Again, that will be a Zoom webinar format. If you're a client, you will receive an invitation to that. Again, you'll have to register. And if you don't want to catch it live Sunday night, it will be out on a replay later that evening. But as I'm putting together the recap of quarter 3 and the projection into quarter 4, one of the most positive themes I have for quarter 4, which I think is going to be a challenging quarter, is crypto. And the crypto took a big hit. Earlier, it was getting hit anyway. And of course, you had the Chinese government reiterate its ban on crypto. It had already kind of banned crypto before, but it didn't catch. It was more of a headline grab when it went back and did another ban on crypto, or kind of talked about it openly. And you had the code conference this week. So again, that hit the crypto space a little bit more. And then you had the big code conference this week where we talked about crypto a lot. Of course, Elon Musk is he's a crypto bull, or a fan, if you will, of not just the big cryptos, but all the smaller cryptos too. There's a hamster crypto out there now that's kind of getting some headlines. Whether it should or shouldn't is, I think it probably shouldn't. It's just too small. But if you remember Dogecoin, those sorts of things, there's lots of cryptos out there. Again, I don't really think you should get into that space. If you do, that's more gambling than investing. So it's really not what I would call my wheelhouse. But when you talk about the big two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, or the overall idea of the theme, if you will, of cryptocurrency, I think all of which are really in position to have a fantastic Q4. So I haven't felt that way in a long time, since we really kind of started getting into crypto back in, I believe it was the second quarter when it ran, Bitcoin ran from 30,000 to 50,000. I do think it's going to get back north of 50,000. I think it probably has a decent chance of getting close to 100,000. So almost a double in the quarter 4, just because everything else is going to be challenged. So again, money's like water. It has to flow somewhere. So if things are flowing out of stocks and bonds due to tax reform, that sort of thing, where's it going to go into crypto? And then what our topic of the day, or not topic, or question of the day, is alternative investments. Those are also very attractive right now. You know that if you're a client of mine, you know that I've probably talked to you about moving into the credit space, either through a mutual fund. KDUX is the one I use. It's an Ares Capital Fund, CADUX, or going with Blackstone, their BCRED fund, which again is an enduring perpetual credit investment, which is a little bit confusing. There's a subscription agreement that goes with it. Paperwork is like, what is going on here? The fees are high, but the payments are also higher than you're going to get anywhere else. I had Blackstone University on Tuesday, have it again today, this afternoon, where they have the C-suite basically come in and talk to all the investment advisors. It's advisors only for a couple hours to break down, what's going on in the space and why it's so attractive right now. So again, that's kind of some quarter 4 themes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. On the day trading front, the futures are higher. They're not really holding higher, though. Just kind of, they were a lot higher earlier and fading a little bit into the open. But we do have a couple longs out there. Space, that's Virgin Galactic, SPCE. If I said that correctly, yeah, SPCE. They just received they were banned from flying for not banned, but they were grounded for a while due to an FAA investigation. They're back good to go from that. And then you have RID, which is Lordstown Motors, is selling a company in Ohio to a company in Japan, a factory in Ohio to a company in Japan. So they're bouncing on that news. Neither of those are very strong as far as long-term stories. Short side, CarMax, KMX, whiffed earnings, not too bad. But they're down 8%. And then you have KSS, which is Kohl's, which is probably my favorite out of the group this morning. They received a downgrade from Bank of America due to some supply chain issues. So if you're setting up for longs and shorts, the top short this morning is going to be KSS, which is Kohl's, due to supply chain issues, and the chart looks beautiful as far as setting up for a short. All right, if you're catching us on replay, thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notifications bell. We are closing in, I think today or tomorrow should take us over the 10,000 total views on YouTube. Again, I've been at this on a daily basis for about 5 quarters now. So what's that? 1.25 years, if you will, 15 months. So that's a lot of views. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to join in the room, there's still only a few of us in the room. It's $25 a month. Maybe if I charged $1,000 a month, I'd have more people in the room. But I kept it low so people would join, and they don't. So I do have to relook that as far as my long-term strategy. Or do I just make it free? I don't know. We shall see. I kind of like it the way it is, but we'll see. As far as, but if you want to join us, it's $25 a month to come on in the room. You have access to me real time to ask questions that you want, anything you want, and I will answer it. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. All right, welcome back, everyone. Here's the lineup card for today. Again, Thursday, 30 September, 3/4 of the year through 2021. Just kind of reflecting back, 2020 seemed to be the year that would never end. And then 2020 has flown by so fast. It's kind of crazy. It's hard to believe that we're 3/4. 2022 is right around the corner. And I have a graduate in 2022, so it's kind of the kind of crazy to think I'll actually have a child that, supposedly will be leaving the house here middle of next year. So kind of crazy. Things are moving fast for sure. All right. Standard disclaimer applies. This is a financial education presentation. You have to do your own due diligence for acting upon anything you hear this morning. Full disclaimer information is available at OTOTnow.com. All right. Mission objectives: grow our money, protect our money, and live off our money. Well, really, we're looking at growing our money and what are the opportunities to do that when it appears that the stock market is going to be challenged by tax reform primarily. There are some other things in the air, some political wrangling that's going on, and the fact that we've already had a pretty good year so far in 2021. So I think Q4 is going to be challenging, and I'll talk to that Sunday night in some detail, and I will lay out my themes that I think are positioned to outperform in Q4. And again, we don't really, even though I'm doing a quarterly investment advisory board, that doesn't bring the long-term investing focus to a quarterly investing focus. It just simply identifies what's changing over the long-term environment. So some themes that underperformed, we'll talk about those: the marijuana space, Chinese technology. Those are long-term good themes, but they certainly underperformed in Q3 and probably will underperform in Q4. So that's how we're kind of breaking that down. But when you look at, what is positioned to pop, I think is crypto. So that's what we take a look at is, I don't invest in it directly. You can always do that. Go to Coinbase, open your wallet. I think you can buy in PayPal, Venmo, Robinhood. I don't know. Pretty much if you have an app, you can buy crypto through it. It seems. I don't care to buy it that way. I like buying it through my brokerage account, and I have the 3 proxies listed there. CRPT, a fairly new index fund, as well as MSTR, software company, loaded up with Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And of course, Ethereum is the Grayscale trust. So we'll look at all this. All right, flow will be long, short, open, short, long. Do a market review, headline review. We'll come back, do our opening execution, and contingencies and academic resources are standard. Let's take a look at TD Ameritrade real quick. Here's how I have a setup for the day trading. Again, 4 charts across the board. The S&P 500, here's on the left. Here's what I talked about as far as the futures opened up way up here, and it's really been trending down. Since I first checked it, an hour ago or so, it's down from where it was then. It's still in the green though, so we shall see how the market acts today. Then I have one long in space and then 2 shorts in KMX and KSS. And yeah, that's not what you're looking for out of your long, right? It looks like it's short going in. So probably looking at the 2 shorts with our focus here on the far right on KSS. All right, switching to the long-term mode though, we have had some challenging days in the market. We had the big down day let's see, yesterday it was. But yeah, we're still in this up channel, right? But we're dangerously close to breaking it. I do think if we don't break it today, we break it in Q4. So again, there's going to be some challenges. There are some other lines in here that are flattening out, if you will. So again, when you look at how much money's been made during 2021, just because you're giving some back doesn't mean you're going to cash out and take your football and go home. It just means that there's going to be some resets going into Q4. When you zoom in onto the 5-day chart, here's kind of what you can see. Had the big down day. Wednesday, this is Tuesday, was the big down day. And then Wednesday was basically a chop across the board. And then you can see the action going into this morning. All right, let's go over to taking a look around at the futures on CNBC.com, as well as going around the world. Here are our futures holding in the green. It looks like, unless something significant happens today, the NASDAQ's actually in the green for the month. It does not seem like it, or maybe that's the quarterly numbers. But the NASDAQ's still hanging out in the green. Yeah, that's quarterly, if I remember right. The Dow and the S&P are going to be in the red largely for the quarter, unless, again, something crazy happens. All right, Europe is split. Asia split pretty light as far as the moving though. The big story of the quarter, which has really been September, is the move, the jump in rates on the 10-year from the 1.3 up to 1.5, almost 1.55. So again, that has challenged the market. Oil's been knocking on the door of the 80, but it's come in some now, back below 75. So it does not appear to be as dire as it was being thought of. As positions, again, there's largely window dressing that goes on in larger hedge funds, mutual funds, that sort of thing. People buying into gold and silver, kind of hedging against a concerning Q4. All right, as far as the crypto, here's the jump this morning, 5%, 7% in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Again, well below where it was back when it was touching, I think, almost 60K in Bitcoin. So we're over almost 25 to 30% off of that. So again, I think it has a lot more room to run as we go into the end of the year. All right, for the headlines, I'm going to skip those so we can look at these charts real quick before the open. So again, the newest is CRPT. Don't even know if it's in FinViz. It's not. So we will go to Yahoo CRPT. All right. And it opened in a different screen. Don't know why, but we will get there. Well, no, we won't get there. There it is. All right, here's your, well, that's not helpful. There's the chart I'm looking for. Here's your crypto chart. That's all we got. It opened up on the 21st of September. It popped a little bit and it's kind of come in since then. So again, I was a buyer around the 1950 when it had the big sell-off on, what was that, Monday? No, that was last Friday, and it's dropped another $1 per share since then. So again, you can load up here for your crypto position, in my opinion. All right, getting rid of that and going back to FinViz for looking at the other two. Share that out. All right, the one that's been beaten up pretty bad too with the sell-off in Bitcoin. You have a back peak in here in February, and then it's all the way back down to here. So I think it's a good buying opportunity again in MSTR, and you also get a software company that goes with it. And then lastly, Ethereum, ETHE. It's not the Netherlands Trust. It's Ethereum Grayscale Trust. Again, got to go to Yahoo for it. So we'll go there real quick. For that chart, again, it's been challenged, right? So we'll go 6 months. So pretty good entry point on Ethereum. Ethereum's dropped back down from where it was. Everybody thought it was going to go to 5,000. It's not. It's settled kind of back in. But that's your best bet for exposure, in my opinion, to the crypto space. All right, over to TD Ameritrade, and we'll set up for the open. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time On Target play of the day. We have a few seconds before the market open. Here we go. All right, here's your TD Ameritrade ThinkPipes platform. We have 4 charts in front of you. On the left-hand side, you can watch the S&P 500 on a 1-minute chart. You can see it's been a little bit challenged, but I do think things are going to open up here on the last day of the quarter, so it should be a lot of volatility. Space does not look like a long, but certainly is long here. You can see it's up 6%, so it's come in, so you could take that long if you wanted. CarMax missed earnings. You can see it down there at the bottom. They made $1.72. They were supposed to make $1.90. They did beat revenue, but they're selling off. And then the one I like the most is our Kohl's, which is a downgrade from Bank of America. Again, it's already off 10%, so it's right at that lower bound. It's going to be about a 50-cent stop, probably 40 cents is how I want to. 40 cents is how I want to play it. But we're going to need for this thing to pop. If it just rolls right over and continues down, there's no way to really take it here without it going higher. So we'll have to keep on watching it. I would like to see it get up closer to 49, which is $1 more than it is now. That would be all short covering. If it gets up in that range, then we can turn around and take it short. We'll have to keep an eye on it. All right, space is popping significantly here from where it opened. So it opened at 24.13. It's up 40 cents or so. So about 1 hour unit there. Market's going higher. KMX down over 10% now, basically just falling. Not a lot of volume there, though, unlike the other two. All right, KSS starting to back up a little bit here. Again, we need it up in the 49 level to be able to turn around and take it short. All right, our other long out there, we had SPCE and we had RIDE, which is Lordstown Motor. Up 13%. So again, if you would, if you throw a dart here right at the open at 790, that's about a 5-hour move and 8 cents, 790 up to 840. Yeah, it's a 5-hour move higher. So you would have had to taken that right away. All right, here we're getting some positivity in KSS. We shall see. We're also getting the market screaming higher, which is good, good for long-term stuff, right? All right, can we take this here? It would have to be a 40-cent stop. We're right at that point. I'm not ready to take it. Yeah, I can't take this right here. I need this to come higher before we can hop in on this, just because of how far it's fallen. So again, looking for 49 to get up in here before I'm really interested in taking it lower. So just making a little note there. All right. Wow, this ride has gone fire. Look at this move. It's kind of crazy. KMAX, obviously, if you took that at all short, you would have busted out on it. I don't like it here. This is a nice entry. I would like to see this out of KSS, where it comes up so high and then you turn around and take it back lower. Let's see, if we did $1 stop here in CarMax, it'd be 135, 134 would be the entry. And then all the way down to 131 would be the exit, where it was, 2 minutes ago. So again, that's the kind of entry you're looking for, but I'm not going to take CarMax on earnings. So does not appear, let's see, 48.70, 48.30. If you're dying to trade, yeah, I don't like it. Nope, don't like it. All right, not going to trade today. Trying to find something, but the real move was here in ride. But yeah, you couldn't. I don't think you can foresee that. But maybe KSS rolls over from here. But if you're not in it already, you don't have the room to the downside to get there. All right, let's zoom out and look at the long-term stuff that's going on. Ethereum. Hey, I've talked about the right things, right? 7.3%. There's MSTR up at 4%, and then CRPT should be in here somewhere. I don't see it, so pull it up on the screen here, CRPT. Oh, it hadn't started trading yet. So anyhow, this is the first trust, ETF basically for the crypto industry, and it's not open. I wonder why that is. That's interesting. So I don't know. I'll Google afterwards to see why it's not open, but it should be popping 3 to 4% as well, right along the lines with these other two. All right, AMD up, Netflix up, Clickstream's a spec. C Limited, we don't talk about C much. They're a tech firm. I do like them. MongoDB, same way, software firm. I do like them. All right, let's see what else. Trade Desk is another good one. Palantir bouncing. Usually Roblox is in here somewhere. I don't see it offhand though. Do see K-Web getting some love, 2%. That's interesting. I thought window dressing would probably look to a sell-off there in in those names. A couple of specs here at the top. AMC still holding some of that in the book for meme stock play. Delta Airlines down. There's Roblox in the red, one of the few in the red. Smith and Wesson. Energy down after having kind of a big week. Excuse me. There's the MJ theme. It's been down. Again, a lot of window dressing. People are getting out of names of marijuana. And then Smith & Wesson, American Outdoors, the gun makers also. I think people are getting those off their books as we go into the end of the quarter. All right. Crypto CRPT, again, not trading. Wednesday. Yep, that's weird. Okay. I'll have to look into that. All right. Let's see, did KSS roll over enough? 48, 43 would be the entry. So even if you got a decent entry, it'd be up an R. And again, it'd have to go down to like 13% off before you would actually meet your 3-hour requirement. All right. Let's go back over to Investopedia. We'll close out on alternative investments. A couple of you in the room are actually in these things. And get the screens right here. There we go. All right. So here we are in this alternative investment space. So financial asset that does not fall into one of the conventional categories. So you think stocks, bonds, cash, I would include real estate in there and well. But again, they're talking about, specifically brokerage type stuff. Excuse me. So when you look at alternative investments, you have private equity or venture capital. I'm having this discussion, basically on a daily basis. So venture capital is startups. That's a company that I would say it's been around for less than a year, sort of thing, to where you are taking significant risk. You're basically at the far end of the risk scale, right? Because you're with a new one. Now the reward's obviously high as well as if it takes off. Private equity is a little different. Those are established companies. So again, over a year, generally, some sort of track record, and that's where they're just looking to raise capital for whatever they want to do. In my case, it was raising capital to accelerate the growth. Specifically, like I can do it on my own. I just rather do it faster if I raise some money. So therefore, that's more of your private equity type investment. You get into hedge funds. Obviously, they're taking tons of risk inside of hedge funds. And then managed futures. Again, those are largely funds, art, antiques, commodities, derivatives, contracts. It says real estate's often classified as alternative investment. I would disagree with that. I would say it's pretty traditional investment. Now, if they're talking about, real estate investment trust, some of the non-traded things that are out there, I could see that being thrown in there. But really, whenever you get an alternative investment, you're going to be looking at a contract. It's either going to be a subscription agreement. In the case of the stuff I have with Blackstone, my stuff is a membership agreement. That's how you have to do it out of LLCs. You can't have partners. You can't have subscribers. You have to have members. So that's why it's legally structured that way. But basically, you're going to get into the investment with some sort of a document, and then it doesn't update daily. You look at your shares of Apple. You can stare at it all day, every day if you want. It's jumping all over the place. An alternative investment's not like that. I consider the analogy I use with folks is it's a black box. You often don't get to see inside of the box of what's actually going on. You'll get reporting on a quarterly basis, and usually the net asset value per share, again, the price, if you will, isn't updated daily. It's updated either monthly or even quarterly in some cases. So there's a lot of trust that goes on when you get into an alternative investment that a lot of people don't like. Now, why do these pay more? It's generally you're getting an illiquidity premium, which is a fancy way of saying you can't get your money out whenever you want. So therefore, the company can be a little more aggressive in the way they invest for you because they know the money is not leaving. In Blackstone, generally your money is going to be tied up for the first year that it's in there. So if you have that buyer's remorse or you change your mind right away, you're going to pay a penalty to get your money back out, which of course you don't want to do, right? So you got to ask yourself before you put money into stuff like this, is this money that I can put away for a year? If it's in a longer term private equity investment, is money that you may be putting away for 7 to 10 years. So you certainly don't want to buy into it and then turn around and change your mind, right? These are long-term investments. So back to the premium that you're getting. Since a company knows that this money's not, that they just got, isn't going to turn around and walk right back out the door, they can be smarter in how they use that capital to make money. If you have to keep a big reserve because your investors are flighty, if you will, that they could turn around and leave. And you see that in mutual funds and index funds in a lot of the pooled investments, which I don't like, is because of everybody else. If everybody else gets scared and leaves an investment, I pay for that, right? Because the fund manager now has to sell to free up cash for these people. You don't run into that in alternative investments. So that gives you that illiquidity premium. So the downside is your money's tied up. The good news is you can actually make more money through these funds or investments than you can basically in the stock market. That's why they're so attractive. Many of them are only open to accredited investors. So again, $1 million above net worth sort of thing. All right, let's take a look at these notes here. Unregulated by the SEC. So yeah, you're buying into a belief. Somewhat illiquid is right there. Yeah, some of them are really illiquid, right? So, and here we talked about institutional investors and accredited investors. And again, the theory is the U.S. government, a little bit of a nanny state here, but I get it. It's probably for the right reasons. You don't want people who don't know better to hop into these things, and they could get, their money could be not taken, or exploited, that sort of thing. If you are an institutional investor or an accredited investor, the theory is you know better. I have not found someone's net worth tied to their intelligence at all. I have not found any correlation there. Would be an interesting study, or not necessarily intelligence, but experience, or should they know better, or maturity, or anything like that. Generally, I just have not seen a correlation. But that's the theory, or that's why the rules are there. You will hear the cry sometimes that the rich get richer because the people that aren't rich yet don't have access to the best investments out there. That's 100% true. I would have been doing this stuff for the past 30 years if I could have, but not only, since I retired from the military, then I finally get into the category where I can do this stuff on a regular basis. And I'm shifting more and more of my portfolio to this stuff because I'm fully understanding it now, since I deal with it on a daily basis. So there's a video if you want to kind of check it out. It's 1.5 minutes long. It's not too bad. I looked at it earlier, but I'm not going to show you today. All right. Again, they're not as regulated, so there's a lot more risk involved. And again, they all have the appropriate disclaimers. So if you lose all your money, it's going to be on you, right? There's really no recourse to sue, if you will. Difficult to value, illiquid, unregulated, high risk. Those are all cons. But if you get on the right stuff, obviously the high reward is there for you. All right. Let's see. The market's kind of hanging in there overall. Still in the green across the board. So we'll see how today turns up. Traditionally, the last day of the month is not a green day, but certainly it's starting well for us today. All right. With that, we'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Bye.